We're back with episode 2 of the F1 Manager career mode with Ferrari, and last time we actually won the Grand Prix, so there's nothing really too much to complain about in terms of that regard. But we here are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with a race preview here. We lead the constructors and we lead the drivers, and that is all that matters. Last time we could have done a lot better, if we're being perfectly honest, with you know, Carlos Sainz, but we tried the one stop, it didn't work. But you know what, we won the race, and to be honest, Ferrari, that's really all that matters. But we've got, what else we're going to guarantee? Qualifying position. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. That's a guaranteed circuit info. So we should be ready to go here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I mean, we want to aim to win it again, but it's going to be a tough weekend. I feel like Red Bull hold the advantage in a straight line, and yeah, it'll be tough to see what we can do. But I mean, we should be beating Mercedes, you know, especially at this stage of the season when they're not as developed as later on. So only time will tell here at the Saudi Arabian Kingdom. So as you can see, here are the practice 1 results. For starting top from Leclerc, from Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Russell, Pierre Gasly, Guanyu Zhou, Ocon, Alonso, Magnussen, Norris, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Schumacher, Vettel, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi and Alexander Albon hilling up the rear there. I mean, we've gained a bit of confidence, but nothing major, as we've got to get into practice 2 here, and we're going to simulate that. We'll do practice 3. Some weekends we'll probably do practice 1, you know, but I just wanted to do it this way. Hopefully we can do it, get a better result here, but I feel Max is just going to top it like he always does. Nope, it's actually a Ferrari 1-2, surprisingly. A Ferrari back. So here we are into practice 3 here. I mean, what about the tyres? What tyres can we send them out on? Don't really want to waste any race tyres, to be honest, so we'll just send them out. I mean, it says it won't be safe, but it doesn't really matter. So we'll you know, we'll sim a decent amount into it. I don't exactly want to just send them out at the start. You want the track to get a bit rubbered, closer to the qualifying track, as you would expect. But Latifi with the fastest lap there, Bottas then displaced some, Tsunoda in there as well. I mean, I don't even know what tyres these guys are on, but Bottas with 32, as you can see. But practice 2 is the one that's most like real life, to be honest, so that's the way that is. But we're 8 minutes in, and not an awful lot happening at this stage of this stage of practice 3. So both Williams is last, but that's as we expect it, and Verstappen managing to get himself up there. So Leclerc and Sainz, the only 2 not to set a lap. As you can see, they're on their laps right now. They're not completely pushing here. It is only practice. Don't need to kill the tyre. Max Verstappen, he's got quite a big gap over the rest of the field. You know what, we'll try and yeah, get them both to push. Fuck it. Hopefully we can but I mean, with this track, it's more or less about survival at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in more ways than one. But I mean, it is looking pretty toasty here for Ferrari. I mean, the car's looking like it's sticking with top practice 2, so only time will really be able to tell what we can do here. So hopefully here in practice 3 we can slot into that gap between Verstappen and Perez. It's really but the tyres are overheated, slightly overheated. But we've pushed for the rest of this lap. Tyres getting a little bit warm. Are they going to come in after 1 lap? Nah, Leclerc 2 times clear of Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz slots in right behind. That's what we like to see. As you see, Sainz just moved up to P1 there in practice 3, but again, there's not an awful lot to scream about practice. I mean, I guess we'll do all the screaming when it gets to yellow 1 sector 1. Practice is not really where it's at. Alonso's crashed into turn 1.
Thank goodness nobody else.
Jesus Christ, Fernando Alonso. That was, I mean, that looked like a brake failure or something. Will that car be ready for qual?
Really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them
Jesus,
back too badly.
disappointed. The lucky the guy's no deed. As you see, the session is ended. I mean, the Ferraris, we look pretty good. I mean, I doubt Max Verstappen's quickest time was on the hard, because that would suggest everyone else's quickest times was on the hard, which I don't think are factually correct, to be perfectly honest. Like, I doubt Guan Yu Zhou is 2 tenths off Bottas on a harder compound, but it is what it is, and we've got to dive in to the race. Well, not the race. Qualifying, then it's the race.
And radio check when you can.
Radio check, okay.
Radio check when you can. Yeah, we'll do a bit of simming here. We'll sim about 5 minutes to go, then we'll send them it. Right, I get it. DRS is enabled. Did they really need to stop the whole communications fucking thing there? Probably not, but I mean, we do have upgrades coming to the car, but they're more in like a month's time, 2 months' time. So nothing really to worry about, but Ocon and Shinoda. No, fuck, that's a good lap for Ocon. Like, I know they're pushing, like, but come on, the fuck. So you can see Leclerc, his timings are looking good. Perez currently fastest. Verstappen down in 6th. Alonso's recovered for his practice free crash. So hopefully, as long as Leclerc can set this up, it's going to be, we're going to be through. It says we're out, obviously, but we're not out. And across the line, 29.1. No bad. And now Carlos Sainz, what can he do here in Q1? He's absolutely flying. It doesn't look right. We're in that corner. Looks like they're actually about to take off on all the tyres, but he's doing no bad. He's heading towards the final corner now. Carlos Sainz, he's only green. Not spectacular. Hopefully he slots in ahead of Prix. Not that this session really matters, man. I mean, you could do a lap time of Alonso Ocon and he'd still be through. Across the line, 8 times down, not good. There is the checkered flag. Who's going to make it through? Wait, fuck, Valtteri Bottas crashes out in the Alfa Romeo. Very unexpected. Carlos Sainz so closer to the Mercedes in the top 3. Not good, but as you can see, both Williamsons and Aston Martins. Bottas is challenging for best of the rest. Bit of a shocker there. Is Leclerc just did a worldy lap? Well, no, Verstappen's kind of just confirmed that he hasn't, but I mean, I don't want to have to send Sainz out again, and I don't think I'm going to have to. With 3 minutes to go, I'm not going to risk it, because we need that other set of softs, we really do, for the final part of qualifying, so I'm not going to send him it. Risky, I know, but that is what it is. Hopefully, I mean, the other driver's going to need to find about a second to jump him. It's looking like they're not going to be able to as they go across the line. Fuck, P9, risked it for a biscuit. Right, going into Q3, you know what? We're going to send Sainz out first. Try and get him to sort himself out, because whatever's happening, it's no good. Right, now we're going to go on board with Carlos Sainz, and hopefully, son, you can actually up your game and get this Ferrari team, well, get yourself back into a shout for pole position, because at this rate he's not. Like, I mean, at this rate it's 4th at best, if you can clinch P4. So come on, Carlos, 8 minutes to go, sir. Flies around there, doesn't look right, man. The game's very good, but they need to work on a bit of the pixelating, the resolution, that sort of stuff. But Carlos Sainz, I mean, this just needs to be good, son. Fuck, it looked like he made a bit of a mistake there going into the final corner, but to be honest, I don't really care. As long as he gets it across the line with like a low 29, and it is a low 29. Carlos, you are a legend, sir. duel, nowhere near, but fucking Leclerc's being held up by a Red Bull. He's let him through, but very naughty there for the Red Bull team. Perez 2 turns behind. What is Leclerc? Why is it on? No, it's on the wrong guy. He's purple in first sector. No wonder he's slower through the middle though. Leclerc to the line. Can it be provisional pole position for the Ferrari man? No. Held up big time by Max Verstappen. Well, you know what, mate? You do the exact same here. Hold that prick up. Hold him up. That's it. That's it. They're going to dish it a penalty for us. What do you see for Verstappen's lap? No, exactly. Setting the world alight there. Fuck, we've used all the soft tyres, man. We've used all the soft. Fuck, I didn't realise that. So as you can see, they're flying laps. I mean, it looked like Carlos, who was going to be nowhere near pole position, is sitting in P1 at the minute. Perez in P2. Then we've got Leclerc. Then we've got Verstappen. Then Pierre Gasly, Guanyu, Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, and Ocon. Ocon severely off the pace, but going to be interesting to see nonetheless. Leclerc, purple sector 1, Sainz, about half a tenth down. Half a tenth down through that. Both Red Bulls up next. Be interesting to see what both Red Bulls can do through that first sector. But come on, Leclerc. We're on board with Carlos, ain't we? Who are we on board with? Yep, we were on board with Carlos. But number 3's ahead, so we may as well go on board with Leclerc. Come on, son. I mean, it's 2 purple sectors. If Leclerc just nails this final sector, surely our top man can be on pole position. But we're going into the final moments here of qualifying. Looks like it's a 4-way fight. Pierre Gasly doing a good job, I tell you that. He's definitely doing a good job across the line. Charles Leclerc goes fastest with a 29 flat. And Carlos Sainz improves but can't quite get the job done. It is now Perez in 3rd position. I don't know what his sector times are, but he's probably doing a good lap. We'll see if he goes along with Max Verstappen. I mean, we can't do any more laps, but will Red Bull be able to find it? Well, the time is now. My time is now. As you can see, Perez to the line. Doesn't improve. Well, he does improve, but nothing major. Max to the line. This could be the difference maker. Goes in front of Perez, but there you have it. And that is your pole position shootout. Hamilton manages to get 5th. Russell gets 6th. Gasly 7th. Ocon 8th. Show 9th. And Alonso 10th. There is your order. And now it's time for the race. It's a Ferrari 1-2. And it's looking like a one-stop. And that's what we're going to go. We're just going to go with A. I mean, I doubt the softs could realistically do it, so we're going to have to, plus we don't have any fresh softs left. Maybe that's going to fuck us coming to this race, but here we are. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Let's fucking do it.
There's a very overcast night in store for the drivers who are now lined up on the grid. And there is Charles Leclerc. P1 today. Let's see if they can take advantage of that position. And further back, there's Sainz. A second place start for them today. They're in with a real chance. Will their hard work pay off today? It's almost time for the
Will
Saudi
it
Arabian
fucking pay
Grand
off
Prix.
though? It's all the lights and away we go.
And it's lights
2
out,
Ferrari first, 2
and
Red Bulls
away
first,
we
2
go.
Mercedes here for the race win. An aggressive for Charles Leclerc.
Copy.
Nah, come on Sainz, son.
We can push a bit more.
Push, get a gap on these Red Bulls. That's what we need, and it looks like so far we've got a good race start here, and we are currently leading a Ferrari 1-2. That's exactly what we want to see. We then have both Red Bulls, both Mercs, Ocon, Gasly, Yu, Alonso, Magnussen, both McLaren, Tsunoda, Bottas, Schumacher, both Hastings, both Williamses. But as you can see, man, Mercedes already beginning to lose a bit of time. Well, more Russell to be exact about it, but it is what it is. The Ferraris are doing good.
Slow down. Okay.
Just told them to slow down a bit, and we're hanging on. We're hanging on. Don't right signs, mate. Don't get any bright ideas of overtaking your teammate. A good gap over Verstappen. No need to jeopardise the victory here. Oh, for fuck's sake, Carlos, what you doing, Carlos? Thought about it, Perez thought about it on his teammate. But now, you know what? We're going to switch over to Sainz. Don't fight your teammate and hold people up behind. It sounds like a perfect recipe for Ferrari here.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
DRS enable, okay.
Oh no, and now Carlos Sainz has to defend from Max Verstappen, but he's doing a good job. Moving on to lap 3 of this race, Tsunoda, massive lockup, he's put himself down in P20. But the Mercedes, man, they're not sitting far behind, are they? That's the only worrying thing here.
Yeah, go.
Perez in front of Verstappen, moving on into lap 5. We kind of got ERS problems that we're trying to deal with here. Carlos Sainz in DRS. Fuck man, we're two. Sainz, what you doing, son? We've got such a gap here on the Red Bulls. We don't need to jeopardise this. Into turn 1, Sainz. Thought about it, but doesn't actually launch one on Leclerc. For starting back from Perez, but the Red Bulls are wasting time. And Sainz has overtook Verstappen. I mean, we're squabbling here. Only a matter of time before Leclerc gets him back. But I mean, we're actually pulling a bit of a gap here on the Red Bull, so it's not actually too bad. If we can just keep it going. Perez back in front of Verstappen. Leclerc is the fastest man on track, sitting in P1. Sainz 2.1, then it's Verstappen 2.1, then Perez 2.5, Hamilton 4.8, Russell 1.7. So the gaps have built up here on lap 11. And I mean, if we can just keep more of the same, will take us towards the first pit stop. Don't really need to create much more, but you know, looks like a win is ours to throw away. Regardless, I believe the pit stop's what, like lap 20 or something. So hopefully we just get there a bit sooner. But leader, so there's the gap to. I like that one, because then you can work it out for yourself what the gap is. You know, tyres both at 60%, but Verstappen and Perez are both in the hards. Fuck, I didn't know that. Moving on though, I think we're going to pick Carlos Sainz. I mean, we're on what, lap 23. Leclerc we can just afford. I kind of just want to keep it safe here, but we're going to go to the hard compound tyre. And that should be it. So Carlos Sainz pitting this lap. Admani, he's pitting. So he's got 4.4 gap to Leclerc, who's ahead. And then we're going to pit the next lap with the big man. Charles Leclerc, I mean, yes, Red Bull have got the whole different strategy going. They're going to go hard the medium, but got a pretty decent sized gap here, so hopefully it works out as we're going to just skip ahead. But we are getting traffic. Leclerc, Sainz comes out in between Perez and Hamilton, which is basically perfect. And moving on, as you can see, these two absolutely flying. But Ricciardo's had a major lockup apparently going into... I can tell you what, he is lucky he did not scalp the wall like Fernando Alonso. And if that's a safety car, that does fuck us. Davy Croft saying it's a bitter blow. Crashing at a 13th place. Sounds familiar. And now, for P2, we've got Leclerc right up the back of Perez. But there only is one problem with Leclerc. I mean, it looks like his telemetry's down because it's stuck on his time to pit. I mean, the good thing is he's just going straight to the end, like, so it's not exactly asking the world of the guy, but at the same time, like, I mean, it's not particularly good. It's stuck with only telemetry on Carlos Sainz's car, and in terms of holding off with ERS at the end. Yeah, so Leclerc, he's made it in front of Perez. 6 seconds up the road, we've got Max, but Max doesn't need to pit again. I bet you his pit board's still fucking working. We are the fastest car on the track. 3.4 seconds to Max Verstappen. Aye, Leclerc's engineer talking shite, but Sainz closing the gap as well. 8.2, 8 seconds. You can see how much time Verstappen's actually losing here by staying out. You think, why not just pit? I mean, we did like, look how much laps we did on the medium, but Verstappen here, he's pitted finally. He's come out 16 seconds behind us, and looks like we're fucking absolutely flying though. I mean, it's 17 now, and it looks like Ferrari, unless there's a colossal fuck up, we can potentially hang on to a 1-2 here.
Oh, we've had a spin. Let's have a look.
And Sebastian Vettel's had a spin here at turn 2. Aye. What a spin, says David Croft. It was a bit jobber right in front of Sergio Perez. He spun there. Moving on though, I mean, our tyres 59, 57, I mean, they're almost in the same region of what the Red Bulls are on, but it looks like it's been a dominant performance here for Ferrari. 6 laps to go. I mean, this has been pretty straightforward, if we're being perfectly honest. And there's Leclerc, loving life, fastest lap. Looks like he's going to get 52 points to kick off the season. Sainz, much better than the 5th place that he got in Bahrain. But no safety cars here, no crashes, no spins, just a straightforward weekend. And Ferrari are on top. Last lap now for Charles Leclerc. I mean, it looks like there's an absolute ding-dong battle going on there for what, P9? Alonso's just dropped down to 10th, but as you can see, lap 50. So Sainz 12 seconds behind Leclerc. Verstappen a further 10 behind Sainz. Then we've got Perez and a further 10 behind him. Hamilton 58.6 behind Leclerc. Bottas and Russell battling for 6th, but looks like Russell's going to hang on to that. But everyone's lapped up the Ocon. It's been a fucking monumental, dominating performance here from Ferrari, and this is with upgrades yet to come to the car. I mean, there is a lot of traffic here, for being honest. I believe that's Nicholas Latifi in front of us, about to be 2 laps down. Nicholas Latifi, son, what are you doing? What are you doing? But Ferrari, we're back. No more pish strategy. No more absolute awful decisions. Oh, put on the shittest tyre. Pit with a bunch of laps to go and have to overtake 27 people. Stay out till the tyres fall off, not stay out until you win. But Leclerc going through the final couple of quarters now. He's stuck behind a Williams and an Aston Martin. Imagine these two wiped this out. I would flipping kill myself. But going to the final quarter now. Charles Leclerc about to make it 52 points back to back. Well, not back to back, 26 back to back, 52 in total. But here we go, across the line. Charles Leclerc wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What a result, what a race, man. I mean, not in terms of a spectacle, but in terms of just an outright performance. Phenomenal. Alonso finished at the points after being in it for so long. He wins for Carlos Sainz. Right, why can't I just go over there? There's Sainz, Verstappen, Perez coming across the line. Looks like it's just going to finish as it's finishing. Hamilton, Russell, Bottas, and then Ocon. So there you have it, guys. What a race. Domination from Ferrari. We extend leads in both championships. Exactly what the doctor ordered here. It's the final race standings. Pretty mad. Bottas qualifying, what, 16th, but managing to get up to P7. Fantastic drive from him. Can't dispute that. Nicholas Latifi, though, what are you doing, son? Always last, but as you can see, with a, what, a 19-point lead in the championship from Verstappen. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good here for the boys in red. Doing what they should have been doing at the start of the season. Well, I guess they did to a degree, like, but then it just went downhill after Imola. But there we have it, man. Absolutely unreal.